Man, playing with Pikachu is so much fun. What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. In the previous part, we ended up making our way east out of Cerulean City. We ended up making our way towards these routes, towards the next destination, which was Rock Tunnel, because we finally had access to Chop Down. In addition to that, we also ended up adding a new team member in Krabby, as you can see, walking around here and doing his crab walk right here. I love how he looks, and he walks really fast, by the way, but also, as we headed towards the Rock Tunnel, once we arrived right around here, we ended up running into some Team Rocket grunts who wanted a little bit of revenge for what we did to them at Mount Moon. There was a bunch of them, and luckily, the Elite Four trainer known as Lorelei, the Ice-type trainer, ended up helping us out. She took on 3 of the grunts, she took on one of them, ended up scurrying them off, and in addition to that, she told us who she was. And so, that will not be the last time we see her. In this part, what we're going to do is we are going to head through the Rock Tunnel, and then we are also going to arrive at our new destination that was Lavender Town, which we were told by an NPC in the previous episode, I believe. And so, what I'd like to point out, though, is when we go to our party, I really apologize, but Gen evolved. I was trying to level up everyone up to level 25, 26, because some of the wild Pokemon were like level 24 and stuff like that. And, well, Gen evolved into the ever-so angry Primate. And when it comes to Primate at the end of the day is just a much faster and a much harder-hitting version of Mankey. Unfortunately, we don't have access to its new evolution of Annihilate, which was introduced in Gen 9, but obviously didn't exist around this time. But yeah, I've yet to name Krabby. We'll name Krabby probably at the beginning of next week's first episodes on Monday, a week from a couple of days ago at this point from when you're seeing this video, I believe. And so, what we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to head through Rock Tunnel. So, got Missy in the front of the party, got a trainer here I think we can fight, and a coach trainer, actually. We'll fight both of them, so I've been out at the Pokemon Gym a few times, but I always lose. Well, unlucky, bro. Just get good, I guess. In the Rock Tunnel, I'll just point this out right now since we have time to talk about it. Camper Vance. What has he got? An Eevee. There's a couple new encounters in there. One of them is going to be Rhyhorn. Now, Rhyhorn actually is one of my favorite Pokemon families of all time. I love its final evolution of Rhyperior. I think it's probably my favorite new evolution that was introduced into Gen 4. Rhyhorn is just, in my opinion, it's a better and stronger family than the Geodude family. It does the same exact thing, but it's just better. Basically, if you have Rockhead when you evolve Rhyhorn into Rhydon, and then Rhydon into Rhyperior, Rhyperior will get the ability known as Solid Rock. Solid Rock reduces all super effective damage by, I believe, 20 or 25%, which is always amazing, especially when you consider how many quad weaknesses that rock and ground types have, so. Alright, he's got a Psyduck, but that's not too bad. Another encounter that you can get in there is Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is a fantastic normal-type Pokemon. It's not, like, incredibly versatile at, well, sorry, it's not incredibly, like, good at 1 or 2 stats or anything like that. It's kind of well-balanced across the board, but it can do pretty much most things very well. It can hit really hard, it takes a good amount of hits. It just doesn't quite excel at anything, but the thing about normal types that I've said before is that normal types have a lot of extra moves that they can learn because they are normal type, right? And Kangaskhan is no stranger to that. Also gets access to something very cool later in the game. And really, those are the major ones. Actually, there's a couple of others. I'm stupid. Oh, after all my training. Well, you still lost, bud. There's another Pokemon known as Cubone. Cubone is a pure ground type. In my opinion, it does the exact same thing that Sandshrew and the Sandslash family wants to do, but it just does it a bit better. It's basically the same thing. It's physically defensive, it hits pretty hard with physical attacks, and it's decently tanky when it comes to the HP stat. So at the end of the day, when it comes to, if you're choosing Cubone or Sandshrew, I'd rather choose Cubone, plus it has the signature move known as Bone Meringue, which I absolutely love. It can hit through sturdy, everything like that. It also hits really hard. And finally, the last encounter is just Zubat's evolution of Golbat. So if you're looking to use a Zubat, you can just get its evolution here, which does the exact same thing that Zubat does. What we're going to do real quick is we're going to save. I actually don't know what this trainer has. Alright, let's fight her. Rock Tunnel is a tough place. Why don't you train here before you go? I'll train you every step of the way you want. Yep. Okay, kiddo, I'll give you a workout. Okay, I don't exactly, you know, never mind. But yeah, you can also encounter Onix and Charmander in there. Onix does evolve into one of my favorite Pokemon known as Steelix. I love Steelix. It's just very physically defensive. as I mentioned with Onyx. It just does everything Onyx wants to do, but becoming part Steel, it does gain a fair amount of nice resistances and stuff like that. Steel is one of the best types of the game. Oh man, stupid frickin' dude, of course, Hypnosis. Whenever the opponent uses it, despite it being 50 accuracy or 60 accuracy, it always hits you. But God forbid you use it, it'll never ever hit in the universe. Thank God for Stern Lake. Good job. Now die. Bye, Poliworld. I told you teaching Mr. Mime Thunderbolt was going to be really, really good. Primeape. Oh, wow. I would send out Krabby, but I think... Do we want to do Primeape versus Primeape here? Wait, no, why would I switch? No, I'm stupid. It's a Primeape. Yeah, I have a Psychic type. Hello? Like, duh. Yeah, we're just gonna use Confusion here. I'm an idiot. Why would I... Oh, no, it's Brick Break. Okay. So Brick Break, nice little tidbit about that move if you're not familiar. When it comes to Brick Break will actually break through screen moves. So if you have Light Screen or Reflect Up, it will completely ignore both of them and completely annihilate both of those, any of those screen moves like that. So don't bother using that against your Pokemon if you know it has Brick Break, because it'll just break right through it. And that was easy. Very nice. Missy's coming through right now. Really, really good to see her up and coming here. You beat Coach Trainer Tasha. Way to go, youngster. Got 2,600 for winning. All right. Turns out you taught me a thing or two. Here, take this for the lesson. Oh, Brick Break. Very nice. I think we're going to very quickly teach that. Can teach your Pokemon Brick Break. This one, break the opponent's Light Screen or Reflect. I think we're going to teach that to Primeape here. So give me a second. I'm going to heal. I'm going to teach Brick Break instead of Karate Chop to Primeape, and I will meet you guys back in front of the Rock Tunnel. Oh, I just realized Krabby can also learn here. I might end up honestly teaching it to Krabby, just because physical attack is really, really helpful. What are we going to get rid of for it, though? I'll get rid of, I think, honestly, getting rid of Leer would probably be good here. So, yeah, teaching that to Krabby, too. I know it doesn't really hit anything extra that Water type doesn't hit already, but at the end of the day, I just like having the extra physical move. It'll at least help hit Steel types, and at the very least, so we're not super effective against those. But with that all out of the way, let us head into the Rock Tunnel. I think I'll just put Krabby in the front here because I assume... Why am I going to the Pokemon box? I'm going to put Krabby in the front here because I assume that we're running into a lot of, like hikers and stuff like that. So just to have Krabby in the front is going to be very helpful here. But our only objective today, like I said, is to make it through Rock Tunnel and make our way to Lavender Town. So there's not much else we're going to do. Just going to go through this nice dungeon. Now, to pitch back in here, do you want to use the Secret Technique Light Up? Yes, we do. So when it comes to the Rock Tunnel, it's way easier to navigate now that we have access to Flash very easily. In the original games, in Fire and Leaf... Okay! A massive Onix is just going to spawn underneath me. Okay, we're just going to use a... berry here. My god, that was crazy. But like I was saying, oh, come on, that was a little... in the original games, it was just a pain in the nuts to get through, because you have to bring something in here that would no Flash, and then you don't want to, obviously, if you had like more Pokemon, you wouldn't want to bring in an HM Slave, because you want to obviously have the Pokemon that you want to use. Just a little earlier. Oh, what the heck? And it just ended up running away anyway. That is one of the most annoying things ever. Oh, there's Rhyhorn and Machop as well. Oh, I guess we haven't been able to run into Machop before. I don't know why I screwed up on all the encounters. But when it comes to Machop, Machop has always been a really solid Pokemon. When it evolves into Machoke and then Machamp, it just becomes extremely, like, hard-hitting, and it also just, extremely hard-hitting, and it also just is pretty tanky. Has the nice ability once you... Either it has, No Guard or Guts, and both of those abilities are really, really good. No Guard basically means that your opponent's attacks will never miss you, but that also always, your attacks will always hit. Let's see what it says. Very powerful in spite of its small size. Its mastery of many types of martial arts makes it very tough. Very nice. No Guard is an ability that basically says all of your Pokemon's attacks will hit, but all of your opponent's attacks will also hit. Another thing about that is that the other ability, Guts. When you're inflicted with a SAS condition, it will increase your attack by, God, I can't remember, is it 2 or 3 times? I think it'll double your attack rate. when you have guts, and that also applies to burn. Even though burn halves your attack, when you have guts, it completely nullifies that. Completely. Like there's no half attack anymore. It just applies the guts outright. Very nice to get a Rhyhorn. Pokemon with the one-track mind. Once it charges, it won't stop running until it falls asleep. Kind of, I mean, it's very much a Rhino, so it's a rock Rhino. Let's see what else. There's another Rhyhorn. Jesus, taking up the entire freaking look how big he is. He's already taken up the whole. There's another Rhyhorn. I like a shiny Rhyhorn. Shiny Rhyhorn's really cool because it's just Pokemon fight, ready go. It's just brown. It's brown, and then when it evolves into Rhydon, it becomes like this bronzy color, and when it evolves into Rhyperior, it has like this, of course he has a Slowpoke. Evolves into Rhyperior, it has this like, it's basically a little bit of lighter brown, but it also has yellow instead of the orange on it. I'm gonna switch into Misty here. Because I have Thunderbolt on Misty. As we go forward, though, you might notice I might cut out more battles because, of course, I'm looking at time for this episode. And like I told you, I want to keep it between 20 and 25 minutes. We're already at 12 minutes of recording, and so it'll take us a fair bit to get through here. Not a super long amount of time, but it'll take us a fair bit to get through here. So I just want to get this all out of the way while we can. So if you see me cutting out like battles and stuff like that, it's mainly because I just want to save on time, and some of them are just completely meaningless anyway. You got Pokemaniac Ashton. Game over. I've run into Ashton one time, that name before. Now the first name is the last name. One of my very close friends of mine, but I'm not going to obviously dox him. He's a good dude, so. But we'll keep moving here through Rock Tunnel. Yeah, you can also run to Geodude. Please get away from the... Yeah, thank you. Okay. Head down. Alright. Zubat. There's another Onix there. More Geodude there. Just going to keep going. Got another Pokemaniac. I don't know what this guy's gonna... I assume he'll have a Slowpoke, so I might just switch off here. Why do I keep going into my bag, man? I'm annoyed at myself for doing that. Wait, why did I do that? Oh my god, man. This... One of those days, huh? I draw pictures of Pokemon when I'm at home. I used to do the same thing. So a little bit of lore of me is that I graduated with an MBA. You transfer Pokemon, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything. I'm just saying that this is like little lore behind. Of course, I switched to Misty, thinking he's gonna have a Slowpoke. No, he has a Kangaskhan on him. But little lore, I graduated with an MBA, but before I actually decided to go to business school, I was actually an art student. I don't know if I've said this in previous videos, but I was an art student. And basically when I was a kid, I would draw pictures of Pokemon all the time. I still have a lot of those. This shouldn't do that much damage. Oh my god. This Kangaskhan. Comet Punch. Ow. Ow! That did a lot of damage. I think it should be able to survive no hit. But I drew Pokemon pictures all the time. I think a bunch of them I drew... These are times. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh, that is so annoying. Alright, you're gonna get annihilated here. I'm not gonna have any mercy. I think some of the first Pokemon pictures I drew were like Lucario. I basically had like Pokemon Pocket Guides. I actually had like that Pocket Pokedex where it was like the book where it had a ton of like misprints, like where it was very clearly wrong. Like there was Pokemon where it was like evolutions were wrong and stuff like that. It was really funny looking back on it now. Encore, I'm not going to bother teaching, but Encore is a move that basically forces the opponent's Pokemon to repeat using the same move several times in a row. I think for 5 turns. Whew, I'm tired. Screw you. Alright, we're going to revive Krabby here, and then we're going to heal him up, and I'll be back in a second. Oh, one thing I didn't mention about Machop, by the way, is to evolve it into Machamp, and there's Graveler, Geodude's evolution was or into and catch it, is that you need to trade. I don't think they have the link cable item. I'm so used to that. So used to that being a thing nowadays. I don't think they have the link cable in this, so yeah, you'll still have to trade to get your evolutions if you want them. That goes for, I don't think, well, there's one Pokemon we haven't run into yet I was about to mention. But I will say, for Abra to evolve into So Kadabra to evolve into Alakazam, and for Geodude to evolve into Golem. And then for Machoke to evolve into Machamp. My god. Timing the throws and then trying to talk about that's annoying. Alright, you caught a Graveler. Very nice. I like Golem. I've used Golem a fair bit. I just like sometimes, you know, the weaknesses of those rocking ground types really comes out when you're figuring it out. I mean, when you're figuring out using them. Graveler's data will be added to the Pokedex. Often seen rolling down mountain trails. Obstacles aren't just things to roll straight over. Obstacles are just things to roll straight over, not avoid. When you weigh that much and it's a giant rock Pokemon, yeah. Funny thing about Rhyperior, if you guys look at its Pokedex entry, one of the things I find funny about Rhyperior is that, yeah, we have Misty in the front. Okay, just want to double check. Is that Rhyperior has like these little cannons. Krabby sipping at the ground. Can I get the item? Thank you. Has these cannons, like little cannon holes in its hands, and funnily enough, it will mistake using Geodude as just regular rocks, and it will shoot them. So, there's like you'll see it, if you'll eventually see, like, there might be a Pokedex entry if I end up getting a Rhyperior at some point, where it's like, yeah, it would, do that. Oh, of course he has an Onix and he doesn't... Alright, well, we're switching to Krabby here. Of course, the one time it's a black belt and the guy doesn't have a fighting type. I was like, oh, we should be fine with this, Steve. Alright, this shouldn't do much at all. Yeah, Krabby's still pretty tanky for just being a crab. Alright, this should... Krabby doesn't have great special attack, but you're quad weak to this. You're going to get hurt by it, so... Yeah, one shot. Yeah, even with Krabby's low special attack, that still is gonna kill. I told you, like, the rock ground types, you see their weaknesses as soon as you start using them. Just have to know when to throw them out. Black Belt Dudley. Oops, outmuscled. I like the expressions in this game. I'll give this game that. That's one thing I do find great about that. I love the visuals of this game. That's one thing I cannot deny about this game. Got a hiker up there. Can I please switch to a... Again, going into my bag, man. Switch to Krabby here. So, I think there's two battles here. There's one with a black belt up there, and there's one with the hiker. I'm going to take on both of these guys, and yeah, we'll just go from there. Alright, with both of those battles taken care of, we can now move on. The Machop learned Brick Break because I was just leveling him up by obviously being in the party, but we don't really care about that. Actually, before we head up this area, I'd like to go back down. Oh, you can even run into Krabby here. There's another area that we didn't end up exploring when we moved this way. You can see another ladder up there. Down this way. I believe this is where we came from, right? Yeah, this is where we came from. This is one place you could very easily get lost in as a kid. Okay, so there was no other area to go to. Okay, so that's good at least. Alright. So, just ended up getting a revive. Made up for the one that I had to use earlier. So, I'll meet you guys back at that. Oh, there's Golbat, actually. Let's catch this Golbat real quick. Surprisingly, I missed more than I threw, but I hit, and I only threw... Excuse me. I missed a ton, but I threw only one that hit, and that was the one that caught it. So I'll take that. It attacks in a stealthy manner without warning. Its sharp fangs are used to bite and suck blood. Yeah, perfect. Literally a perfect Pokemon for Halloween. Alrighty, we're going to head back up here, and we're going to continue moving. Now, I don't know if... Misty should be fine lead here. I'm not too worried about that. It's nice that you can start to see how my team's building up. We got one more Pokemon to add, and I know exactly what Pokemon we're going to add to the team. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't think it's going to be too long until we can add it, too. We'll have our team decently early on. Well, about halfway through the game-ish. Do, you win. Alright. There's another hiker down here. Again, it's always a gamble with these hikers, because I don't know... Sometimes they'll lead with fighting types, other times they'll lead with rocking ground types. You just have to take the gamble, I guess. Maybe I'm lost in here, which a lot of kids did. Oh wow, that did still a lot of damage considering the defense increase. That should be okay. And bye, Sandslash. Alright, got another hiker there. Didn't even... I guess the major thing was just to be able to do that battle, I guess, for extra XP. Yeah, I guess so. Outsiders like you need to show me so... I didn't show you in disrespect, bro. You were the one who challenged me, man. If anyone showed disrespect, it was you, bro. You want to interrupt my evening. Oh wow, Krabby wants to learn Protect. That's actually a really fantastic move. I'm actually going to do it instead of Harden. Protect is like one of the best moves ever made. It essentially just completely, literally given the move name. That's what it does. It protects you. So like if you're going to get hit with a, status move, you're going to get hit with a damaging move, it'll just completely nullify it. Now this obviously changed in Gen 8 when Sword and Shield came out because of the Dynamax and everything like that. Pokemon that were Dynamax and hit Pokemon that weren't Dynamax, they use Protect, it would still go through because obviously the power difference, right? But yeah, really, really fantastic. Escape rope. Very nice that we found an escape rope. An escape rope will essentially just teleport you to the entrance to the dungeon if you're any cave system, anything that's considered a cave. If you are if you just want to get out, I think you need to heal or something like that. There's nothing down here. I thought I saw an item up there, so I assume there's a trainer. There's a Slowpoke trainer. Oh wow, he's got an Ivysaur. Okay. Nice that we chose Mr. Mime for this, but very nice Pokemon to be able to see. Picked up a full heal there, which was very nice. I don't know why I didn't talk, but full heal will basically heal any stats condition. Alright, we've got an Ace Trainer here. Let's see what she's got. I will say the only thing I'll say about like the coach trainers is I kind of wish that they were a little more unique in their looks, because all their major difference was just that they have blue clothing instead of the green. The Ace trainers have blue clothing instead of the green clothing that the coach trainers have. Alright, we got Misty in the front. Hopefully it's fine. Do you know about Pokemon cosplay? Alrighty, nicely got rid of Steve there. Let's go fight that Ace Trainer that was down there. Stop! I love Krabby, but Krabby was about to fall. A crab falling over, I feel like would be like a turtle falling like on its shell, on its back. Excuse me. Let's go fight that Ace Trainer and see what he's got down here. Oh wow, he's got a Flareon. So the nice thing, this is why I'm finally happy we added a water type, because this just helps out in situations like this, like a lot. Flareon, in my opinion, despite it being one of the coolest looking evolutions, and I think the design's absolutely amazing, it's a timeless design, its stats are just terrible, and its move pool is... okay. Its stats aren't necessarily terrible, but its move pool is absolute dog water. This thing doesn't learn anything, really, that would benefit its stats. It wants to be a physical attacker, but it's not quite It's not quite fast enough. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Wow, I'm gonna... Okay, I'm actually not gonna be able to kill this thing, so we're gonna switch out here. But, it doesn't have any moves that can really back up those stats, like... Oh, I'm in Fire Spin, I can't... Well, I'm screwed. Okay, so I probably cut this in, but yes, I absolutely got rolled by Flareon, but at the end of the day, the thing I was trying to say about Flareon is it has some decent stats across the board. Like, there's nothing that's awful. It clearly has strengths, but it wants to be a physical attacker that doesn't have any physical moves in its move pool. It can't even learn Crunch. One of the best moves it can learn, which is really sad, is Return. Like, that's really sad. Hey, there's a Cubone! Oh, there's a Super Potion. Stardust right there. Let's catch a Cubone. For those of you who don't know, by the way, Cubone does have one of the darker sides of Pokemon. I assume 95% of you who are watching this video know the lore behind Cubone, but if you don't, Cubone is a Pokemon that is wearing the skull of its dead mother. So, yeah. I'm just gonna rip it off like a band-aid, because at that point, just do that. But as you can see, I've been probably cutting out a lot of the battles because looking at my recording now, we're at 40 minutes of recording, so cutting out those battles is probably really big, like just showing you the KOs, because, yeah, we've been recording for a fair amount of time. But I think all we gotta do here is hit up that ladder, and then we'll be nearly home free. What's this guy got? Hey, so yeah, plenty of Pokeballs. If you ever run low, come talk to me. I was one of those guys who... Alright, let's see. We have Misty in the front. I think we should be okay. Alrighty, those two battles are now taken care of. Super Potion, very nice. Always nice to have extra healing items. Alright, let's keep it moving. Got an item up here. Come on. I can never grab these items without talking to Krabby, man. Krabby is surveying the vicinity. Well, you should see the stupid Geodude right next to us, but it's fine. By the way, the one thing I never mentioned, and I know I've been talking about abilities for Pokemon, Pokemon in this game do not have abilities. So, it's a blessing and a curse. I know I've been talking about abilities as I talk about Pokemon, but just thought I'd mention that. So, like, my whole thing about Rhyperior, it kind of doesn't apply that much here, just given the fact that, well, it doesn't have rock, solid rock. So, in my opinion, Pokemon like Rhyperior do get a little more shafted because of that in this game, because obviously part of the reason that makes Rhyperior so good is its ability. Alrighty, folks, it looks like we have pretty much made it to the end here. Just going to grab this item right over here. Yeah, I can actually do it without talking to Crappy. But we finally made it out of Rock Tunnel. So, here's the sign. Let's read it. Rock Tunnel, Cerulean City to Lavender Town. So, everyone, finally we have made it out of the dreaded Rock Tunnel. So we're on Route 10 now. We got a couple more trainers before we head down to Lavender Town, so we're going to take care of them real quick. And I will, yeah, we'll cut these battles out. Oh wow, Bubby wants to learn Crunch. We're going to get rid of Leer for that. Very nice. So now we can actually throw that thing, throw him out against, like, you know, Kadabra, stuff like that. Psychic types. Ghost types as well. Phew! I'm worn out from walking through that tunnel. Alrighty, now we made it out of that battle. Let's grab this item. The only thing that annoyed me always about Rock Tunnel is even when you get out of Rock Tunnel, man, they still load you with like 3 or 4 battles, and that always is just like, seriously? Like, you've already been through enough, and then they're just gonna be like, here's more battles! Man, they're really like battle after 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 battle. Finally, the last frickin' trainer. My god. No, I don't want to see your Pokemon. I want to see him dead. Having a Charmeleon is pretty cool, though. You get to see both Ivysaur and Charmeleon if you do the battles here, which is always cool. Krabby is evolving, which is really, really awesome. We're already on to the main events with Krabby. Everyone, enjoy the all might of Kingler. Really, really exciting. We already have a Kingler on our team. But yes, Kingler is a really fun Pokemon for my team. Kingler's Day will be added to the Pokedex. One Claw grew massively and is hard as steel, has 10,000 horsepower strength. However, it is too heavy, even though it's heavy enough for him to be able to lift it. But, yeah! And now look at Kingler. Look at him go. Look how big and chonky he is. But everyone, welcome to the dreaded Lavender Town. Oh. Looks like there's a Cubone headed into the location. There's Trace! I guess he's following that in. What does this little girl have to say real quick? Can I move my... hello? Oh, are you kidding me? I think my Pokeball... Oh, there it is. Okay. I guess it just disconnected there for some reason. Okay. Don't go disturbing things in the Pokemon Tower. I definitely won't. So that's what it's called, the Pokemon Tower. But welcome to the spooky town, everyone, known as Lavender Town. So, as we've made our way through the dreaded rock tunnel, doing a ridiculous amount of Pokemon battles, ended up getting our Krabby evolved into the ever-awesome Kingler. I think that is a great place to end off the episode. So next time on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, we'll be headed into the tower and seeing what Trace was doing chasing that Cubone in there. So, hope you guys look forward to that. So, I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create.